Hi, everyone. Hello. I'm so thrilled that you are here to our LinkedIn Glow Up workshop today. Hi, Karine, Alina, Siranush. So great, and everyone watching. And today I have something special in store for you. It's a LinkedIn Glow Up workshop where we will establish a new way of doing client acquisition. And this also kicks off our client getting week this week. You will get a post in our community with a PDF with exact instructions and a short video. Really, you don't need to spend lots of time, just 30 minutes a day. You will get one video and one post every day for 5 days until Friday. And this should help you with client acquisition this week. So let's start right off because I have planned 60 minutes and I want to be mindful of your time. If there is any question, let me know. You can interrupt me, speak up. I'm handling everything on my own, the technology here. So if I don't respond, if you send anything in the chat, for example, please make me aware. If you think anything is off, if you cannot hear me or don't see my screen in a bit when I start sharing, or it looks like I'm talking about something on the screen and you don't see anything, please be so kind and make me aware of it. I might not notice it in the when I'm in the flow. And maybe you can already prepare yourself. I want to ask one of you to come to the hot seat in a little while, where we will look at your LinkedIn profile and review it and yeah, might find things to optimize or not. So let's see. So it's just to help you, to make your LinkedIn profile a client magnet machine, so to speak. All right, ready? Hi, Linda, welcome. So let me start right away sharing my screen. Let me see. And now I need to also open my presentation, of course. Bear with me, thank you. Let's see. All right, okay. There it is. Hopefully you can see everything. 1 second, I just want to do it in presentation mode. Come on. Presentation mode here. All right, okay. LinkedIn Glow Up for Interpreters. Attract clients and build your freelance dream. Well, this is what we all hope for, right? To just be a client magnet and that clients come to us automatically. Well, let's see what we can do for this. All right, so what you will learn today is how to optimize your LinkedIn profile to attract clients, how to create engaging LinkedIn content without the overwhelm, build genuine connections with potential clients, take the next step toward your dream freelance business. And I will also share with you the PDF for client getting week day 1 today. If I don't do it, remind me, please. I will post it in the chat. I just deliberately do it a few slides in case people still want to join so that they can still see it in the chat. And you can see it also in the Terps Practice Network on School, of course. Okay, just to start, for anyone who doesn't know me yet, hi, I'm Sarah. I'm a freelance interpreter for conference interpreting in German and English, and I have been so since 2012. And I like to call myself a freedom seeker. Yeah, because it's also one of the reasons I started our fantastic community here, the Terps Practice Network, because I come from a different background. I started actually my career right after school studying medicine. So I was about to go into a totally different career path, right? Yeah. But this I found it's not for me, this whole world. It was really super, super difficult. I could spend 15 minutes on this in past recordings I've done, so you can find them in the classroom section. But today I wanted to really make it a bit shorter for anyone and hopefully make it more interesting as well. So let me keep it short. Of course, if you ever have any questions, you can always message me. But so long story short, I dropped out of medical school. This was not for me. It was the hardest decision ever. And I hope if you don't hear me, anyone would let me know, right? Oh, but the microphone now, I can see that it's green. Earlier it wasn't green. Okay, sorry. Just checking my technology here. Um, so Yeah, so I dropped out and okay, I go back to the roots and I've always been passionate about languages. I had just thought beforehand it's like too easy, like anyone can do it. And thank you, Patricia. You hear loud and clear. Wonderful, thank you. As a host, we really depend on you guys, participants, because I would not know if anything doesn't work, right? So and yeah, but boy, was I wrong. Languages were my passion, and I now decided, hey, why do I go the difficult way? I go back to the roots, languages. So I started multilingual communication, my bachelor's degree in Cologne, Germany, and then off to the master's degree in England because I was still adventurous. I still didn't just want to, stay in Germany and now go the totally smooth path. Somehow there's always something in me that seeks a more difficult path. I don't know. So I said, no, my master's, I don't want to stay in Germany, my home country. I want to become, an interpreter, languages. So now I'm young. Now I need to go out into the world. So I applied anywhere in multiple countries. And in the end, I landed in England. So that's where I completed my master's degree in conference interpreting and became freelance right afterwards. So, and this is, probably know this. Only, when you start off freelance as a conference interpreter, you are hit by the Shark Tank and competitive elbow mentality, right? Um, but thanks to my background of having already dropped out of a completely different field where I didn't like the environment and what I thought I would gonna become as a person and so on. I thought, okay, you know what? But I'm not gonna do this here again. This is at least my passion. So I'm strong enough now to continue this because my passion for languages is stronger than, the hurdles that I face. So I decided to do it my way and started to really question everything senior interpreters told me and even in the associations, like, okay, like I learned critical thinking in school. Come on, So, and always keep your critical thinking. Just because somebody senior says something doesn't mean it's right. Or just because the majority says it, doesn't mean it's right, right? We have seen this lots of times in history after all, maybe even today. But okay, this is a different topic. So keep your critical thinking and of course, work according to your code of conduct and ethically and so on, But not everything is against it that sometimes, people might tell you. Like, just to give you an example, I wanted to naively also work in multiple countries, I mean, I had English, French, and Spanish as my languages, with German as my native, of course. And this is how I started with these languages. And senior interpreters told me, no, are you crazy? This is totally against the code of conduct. You need to have like one city in one country as your base. You cannot seek clients in multiple locations because you would steal from different interpreters, right? From the pond. Yeah, so crazy, isn't it? Sometimes it's like the sharks eat their own fish, you know what I mean? It's like let's support each other instead of eat each other. So this is what the Terps Practice Network is also all about. We have the motto of non-competition, mutual support, and positivity. And this is what it is because we believe that, if one interpreter thrives and, for example, gets a good price for the assignment, any given day or whatever in any given year, doesn't matter, this helps the entire industry, right? And if we recommend a colleague to a client because we're not available, instead of fearing, oh my gosh, dear client, no, I don't know who's available and only I can do it. No, no, the best is you totally cancel the whole event, No, it doesn't help, because the client will search another interpreter anyway. So the best thing you can do, isn't it, to recommend a colleague with this, you have established the relationship with your colleague and you helped your client. So, everybody, it's like win, win, win. And it creates just this positive vibe. Like the client will remember you for helping them, your colleague will remember you. And of course, you can establish the rules and communicate. Okay, dear colleague, but please, tell the client that I have the first go, that they first come to me, you are second in line, Communicate those things, but in a friendly and like collegial way, fair. And also tell this to the client, and they will always understand. In my experience, always. I've never had any client that said no to this rule and or didn't adhere to it in my experience, as far as I can tell, of course. But This is always about like do the best you can do, and what goes around comes around. So I decided to do this in my sense and break free. And this is also why I want to help colleagues to find clients themselves nowadays. And yeah, it's often through word of mouth and colleagues' recommendations, but it's not enough. You can't rely on this, You need to really reach out to companies and actively contact potential clients, companies that might become your future client. And it is a marathon. It's not a sprint. It is an ongoing thing. Up to today, I still, for example, send out emails to clients that I haven't heard from in a while just to remind them of me. So it's an ongoing thing. And still, when I meet somebody new and I think, oh, okay, wow, this is working, this is like a company. Yeah, I can message them, I ask for the business card or whatever, business details, and then I do contact them presenting myself and so on. So it is an ongoing thing. So it would be best to make it a habit. And if depending on where you are in your journey, of course, at the beginning it's more intensive and like takes up a lot of your focus, maybe even 50% of your time. But over time, it just like here and there a little bit. So it depends on where you're at, of course, and how many clients you've already got. But yeah, you can totally adjust it to your own needs. And this is why I think I can teach client acquisition because I know what it feels like. There's dozens of CVs, and yeah, they don't always answer you, but this doesn't mean they didn't get it. And they will still, or most of them, or many of them, still come back, after a longer time period, and still don't forget about them. Remind them of you after some time has passed as well. So yeah, I know the frustrations. Where are the good clients? Because apparently, every other interpreter you meet at a networking event or so has these fantastic clients. They pay well, are super relaxed, and so on. But you only seem to get the inquiries from the stressful ones. So there's something off. It's not possible that they're only like the bad ones stressing you for like price reduction and this complication here and there, sending you lots of emails, contacting you, calling you, which is also all of your work time. There's also something to consider, even start speaking on the phone with clients is your work time. So consider this also like how you're feeling when it comes to like to the stage where you can be pickier and can select the clients you want to work with. And yeah, it does feel like it feels not lonely. I can totally, relate to this as well when you try to figure out everything on your own. And maybe it even seems sometimes that, as I mentioned, like the colleagues that are supposed to be there to answer some questions and support you or each other don't seem that helpful after all. Then you think, hey, excuse me, am I in the wrong world here or are they? It's like a totally different planet all of a sudden. But just keep going, really. And become aware of your own values and stick to them. Stop questioning yourself, becoming self-conscious. Really trust your gut and find those colleagues that are supportive and honest and authentic. Like you might find them probably in the Terps Practice Network. So, and why LinkedIn now? Well, LinkedIn is a great platform to boost your visibility, especially also in the interpreting world, because it's the professional networking platform. You can position yourself as an expert, and in this, there's already a marketing strategy in here because this is your goal. Position yourself as an expert, talk about topics relating to your niche if you already have a niche, connect with clients and industry professionals. And yeah, on LinkedIn, you can build a freelance business that is aligned with your goals. Because when you're proactive, the positive thing is you can do what you want, right? Because, you're proactive. It's up to you. This is your LinkedIn profile. You can do with it what you want. So also try to have fun with it a bit and enjoy it, experiment with it. Don't take it too serious. This helps as well with keep going and remembering that it's a marathon to not take it too serious, but also with humor sometimes. And not be too afraid of posting something that might be embarrassing or, oh, there wasn't a typo in there. Oh my gosh. Like, no, 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 stop this perfectionism because done is better than perfect. And people work with people. So client work with people and not a robot or, they want this relationship. This is what's behind this, what I just said. People work with people. They want this relationship. They want to get to know you. And if they like you, then they stick with you, So That's that. And you can establish all of this on LinkedIn, of course, but also by reaching out coldly with emails and contacting them, of course. Today we focus on LinkedIn. Oh, yeah, here comes also my reminder. The slide shows you the today's task, client getting week day 1. So what you can do today already, and maybe you have already done so because the post is already in the network, is that you can spend 20 minutes using LinkedIn, for example, and finding trade shows, um, companies, maybe you already have like a sector in mind for your niche, or maybe you want to establish a niche in a certain sector, then, just go for it. Don't ponder a long time on, oh, there's so much opportunity or so many companies. Oh, where do I start? Just pick, decide. 3 today, 3 next week, and then consistency. That's the key, really, again, here, don't ponder too much on doing the right thing, right or wrong. Basically, there is no right or wrong. The main thing is to take a decision and pick 3 companies. Here, that's a task today. Pick 3 companies to reach out to them this week. Yeah. So really, and be aware of your time. Time is your most your most valuable asset in life, and don't waste it in beating yourself up, like, oh, I cannot decide, and then the thoughts continue and spiral. No, 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 stop it and just pick, because you cannot do anything wrong, basically. So that's your task. Let me actually share the PDF with the instructions in the chat. There it is. It's loading. There it is. Please, I think you should have it in the chat. This is today's task. If you cannot see it, let me know. Otherwise, I continue. And you will get a similar PDF and task instructions like these every day now till Friday. So please check the group, Terps Practice Network on School, and your emails for that. All right, so let's go ahead. Now we have the time to get somebody in the hot seat to update your profile photo if needed. Let's have a look. Or create a LinkedIn banner with Canva, for example, that highlights your expertise. Or let's craft a headline that sells. Here you should say what you do, whom you help, and how you help them. To be a bit more specific, to stand out a bit from the crowd. So let's do this now in the hot seat if somebody wants. And after this, we can also um, look at the following. 1 second, here the headline. Let's look at the headline as well. Here are some examples you can read. And most important here, a great tip is use all of this signs and characters in there. Yeah. And also, like, look back at it in 6 weeks' time and update it if you like. Again, this is your storefront, LinkedIn. You can do what you want, and you can update it as often as you want. So, regularly maybe have a look and see whether it still aligns and see. If you have time, we can also look at your about section. Here you should say who you are, like your interpreting background and passion. Again, highlight who you help. If you already have clients in the sector, mention them. If not, that's totally fine. We all started somewhere. Then pick a niche that you want to work in, because again, you're free in everything here. This is your thing, so you might as well pick something you like, huh? So pick a sector you like, tourism or technology or whatever, medicine. Pick the niche then that you would like to work in. Then explain how you help them, like interpreting, maybe, say a few sentences again about simultaneous interpreting or consecutive. Again, you can use up all of the spaces here, or maybe you have a different idea of mentioning, your services here and strengths. And very important, a call to action. So invite them to connect with you. How can they connect you? And again, pick the channel that's best for you. Again, this is your thing here, so you can decide. Do you want them to connect here via LinkedIn, or rather say I'm best available by email, here it is, or visit your website or what have you. So call to action, very important, because what should the person do reading your profile? Yeah. And again, you can also have like a personal touch Maybe you know this from CVs nowadays also, like some hobby, you go swimming or play an instrument or something, just like one short line, just, one personal thing you want to share. Again, people work with people. This is just an example, but before we come to this, what to post? No, let's look at the profile first before we come to the section what to post on LinkedIn. All right, let's see something in the chat. You have received the PDF. That's great. Okay, cool. So I think you also have a volunteer for the hot seat. In the chat, Lavinia volunteered. Is that right, Lavinia? Hi.
Here I am.
Hello.
Hello.
Oh wait, now I
So
think I need to
why
change
not?
the view.
Let's try this LinkedIn thing. I was just looking how to share my LinkedIn profile. I'm looking for it because I'm on the app in my
Yeah.
phone,
Okay.
but I don't know
Okay.
where is the thing to. Ah, okay. Share the profile. Okay.
And let me also try to make you visible on the screen here. 1 second. You can do your thing. I do here.
I'm
Spotlight here.
copying the link. Let's try. Let's try.
Let me also spotlight me 1 second. I will join you in a second. So, okay, now both of us are in the spotlight. Okay, let's try. Yeah. Okay. Oh, maybe I
Oh,
shouldn't.
I
Mm-hmm.
am. I am in the spotlight.
Yeah.
Wait, let me put my camera back. So let's go to the message board and I'm sending my LinkedIn profile. Let's see if it works.
Yes. Maybe you want me to share it? Okay, maybe that's easier. Yeah, let's see.
I
Because
don't
I'm on
know.
the computer. Yeah, because if
You.
you've shared on your phone, it's also a different view, I think. Huh? Let's see. I will open your
From the app.
profile.
I don't know if it works.
Yeah, but I can share. It's no
Otherwise, I can
problem.
try to get it on internet.
Here, I got you. I can share my screen. No problem. Yeah. Okay. And please, everyone else, also, you are asked to give your feedback as well, right? You have already just heard a few things to pay attention to, so let's hear your advice. Because multiple brains work better than one. So
So
share my
let's see if
screen.
this one works.
Okay, Lavinia, I'm just sharing it here.
Ooh, I'm being broadcast.
Yeah, so you can see it, yeah? You can see. Oh, you can see your screen, right? Just to make sure that everything in the technology here works.
Yes, I'm
Uh,
seeing my
Okay,
own
perfect. Okay.
profile.
Great. Okay, before I say something, I want to challenge also the others, or I kindly ask the others.
If they have any remarks.
Yeah, and also positive feedback, guys. Let's praise also here Lavinia's great profile. I already see lots of
Yes, but we're
positive
not here
things.
to praise. We are here to
Exactly.
improve it.
Remember,
Improve it.
positivity, mutual support here, and but still constructive feedback. I mean, it's not about toxic positivity here, right? It's still being constructive and helpful. But yeah, anyone who likes to say something, just anything, really. There's no right or wrong here. I think we have a few new people who might be shy. Oh yeah, I hear somebody. I cannot see. Please speak. Somebody wanted to speak?
I like that there is the hallmark of Lavinia, the glasses. That is really, you cannot not notice them. And I mean, part of Lavinia's personality is the way that she presents herself very nicely, colorful and so on. Do you hear me?
Yes, Linda. Hello.
Yes.
Linda is speaking. Great. Thank you for
Yeah,
stepping forward. And I like your hair, by the way. It's new
yeah.
haircut. Wonderful.
Yes, yes, thank you.
Oh.
But one thing there, I think these earphones, they are a bit in the wrong place. They are like on cheeks, and then I have to give it a thought, and then I understand it's meant to be earphones. But I think it would be better to have them somewhere more towards further away from the glasses. Then it's clear that those are earphones. Now it's not right away. I have to give it a thought to understand. But I like that it's colorful. I like that it stands
Okay.
out. And I actually like it that it's all short and clear. But maybe for people who are not interpreters, maybe it's not enough. Maybe they would need something like, what does it mean to be expert près la cour d'appel de Paris? Because if I'm a French speaker, I understand. But if I'm an Italian speaker, I might not. And it might be that I'm looking for you, Lavinia, but I don't understand if it's written in French if I don't understand French. Well,
Should do it in several
just
languages, maybe.
yeah, or just something like a catchy phrase. Why I want to be with you. I see where you are expert in, and me as an interpreter, I know what it means. But for someone who is just looking for interpreter, but is not quite doesn't really know which type of interpreter he wouldn't understand if it's only in French. Yeah, and he might miss you, although he probably needs exactly you. Okay, that's it from me. I'm just in a very noisy place. I think it's disturbing for you as well, listening to me.
Oh, your noise production seems to be working very well.
Yeah.
We can't hear anything except your voice.
Okay. All
I
right.
have a
So
question for you. I have a question for you. So
yes.
first of all, where should I explain all of this? Should I explain it further down? Because the banner is just a banner. I cannot overload it first. And
Well,
second,
banner is fine, I think, but yeah, somewhere down. But I
down.
guess
Okay.
that's what Sarah will better know to tell you.
Yeah,
Yes.
thanks, Linda. Yeah.
And
And
second thing,
Lavinia
uh,
first, yeah.
I am aiming at developing more the private market, and I wouldn't want to be branded as a legal interpreter because I would like to expand the conference market and not just the legal market, which for the moment is what I'm working
Yeah.
mostly with.
Well, then I think you can phrase in terms as if it was already a fact. I mean, you have been trained in conference interpreting, right? So it's
Yes.
not that you would totally lie if you put something, yeah, I'm a conference interpreter. You just haven't worked there for a while, but you, since you want and you have training in that, you definitely can. So,
Yes.
well, I
And I
think
have
you
worked
have,
also recently. However, I don't know. I feel that I have, yes, some assignments in conference interpreting, some assignments in the booth, but I would like to get more assignments in the booth and less
yes.
legal
Well,
work.
so write it there the way as if you were already basically doing that, or you don't have to exclude one or the other. You can be both. Yeah, you
Yes,
can
I'm
write
doing
it.
that.
Okay.
All
All
right,
right.
thanks, Linda. Thank
Yep.
you for your feedback and great constructive
Yep.
points. Yes, and thanks, Lavinia, for asking more. So one thing here you can do already, Lavinia, to avoid all of this or solve all of this confusion, exactly like, should I do my logo here and banner in multiple languages, and I want to do conference interpreting, not legal, although I work more in legal at the moment, is that you think about who is your ideal client, and you create a profile aimed at this one client. Because you cannot talk to everyone, because if you talk to everyone, you talk to no one. And we often fear that we exclude clients if we like talk about the niche and so on, one specific area, very detailed. But no, you don't. Trust me, I always advertise that I'm a medical interpreter and I have one direct client in the automotive industry, It's like, wow, so people still contact you. But the important thing is to avoid exactly all of these doubts, about what we just mentioned. So create, like, go to Canva, for example, and create virtually your ideal client. Whom do you want to work for? So it's conference, you already said. And then
Yes.
do they natively speak French, for example? So would a French company find you? Then your French banner is totally fine, And then, like Linda said, you can always like use say it in other languages in your profile, in your headline, in the about section, But and always, like, one thing also, to when we do this review of the profile, it's like proofreading something. And if you're the proofreader, if it's your job, you kind of want to find something, yeah. So this is also like already like getting sometimes into the area of perfectionism. So because it doesn't mean it's not already good, you know? It's just like you can tweak maybe something here or there. But it's like not wrong, you know what I mean? So don't worry. It's like not, you don't have to go after this webinar and change the whole thing, you know? So yeah, just to help you again and not to create nervousness or anything. So but this can help really everyone here. Think about like what, again, like this is what I mean. This is your profile. You can do what you want. So have fun with it. Whom do you want to work for? And create the profile according to this. And then imagine, like Linda said, as if you were already working in this, how would you create it, you know? Like if you were already the conference interpreting or had more conference jobs, what area would it be in? And really think about who's your ideal client. You know, is it like this big company? Yeah, in the automotive industry, for example, that has some bases all over the world? Or is it like rather market research, where it's more about like social psychology interviews or whatever, you know? So really think about who's your ideal client and aim the profile at them.
Yes, first of all, I wanted to say that I wrote everything in French because I have this idea that mostly I would be contacted by French companies because no one would fly me over to the United States. That would be absurd. They wouldn't pay for the flight, the hotel. So I guess that mostly I would work for French companies because remote interpreting, I don't know how much it is developing, but I I've done it, but a couple of times, not more.
Okay, and so what? I mean, also, yeah.
This means this
Mhm.
is the reason why I put my profile in French. But yes, I should also do an English version. Yes.
No. I mean by my so what. Sorry, my so what is more like provocative in a deliberate sense. Like you have only done in conference interpreting a few times. So what? You know, you are a conference interpreter.
No,
Period.
I'm not saying that.
So,
I've
yeah.
only done conference interpreting only a few times. I remote interpreting I've done just a few
Ah,
times.
sorry. Yeah,
Conference interpreting,
remote.
yes,
Hmm.
I've done it loads of times, but that's not enough to say that it is my main activity, and I would like it to be my main activity.
Okay. So here is, you know, you don't need to lie, of course, but we're often
Mhm.
holding back because we think, oh, then it's a lie. I mean, you don't have to say that this is your main field, but you can say conference interpreter and just list your experience maybe already. And then it's not a lie, right? Also, you know what I mean? So the client is not in your head. And how
Oh,
to phrase this, you
okay.
know? So, I mean, it's like, I don't know, like excusing yourself already or justifying something that's where there's no reason. I can't think of a good example now.
Mm,
If anybody else can, please please feel free. But it's like,
I know.
you know what I mean? Like,
I don't
uh,
really need to justify myself. Yes,
yeah, and you don't
you
need
know
to also
everything.
say, oh, actually, I'm a legal, I have super a lot experience in legal. I don't want to lose you because I have so much experience, but actually, I prefer conference. You know, you don't need to say it like this, you know, or put it out there. You can simply present yourself here as a conference interpreter and just list like, you know, the fields that you have interpreted in without saying how often or whatever, you
Mhm.
know, and then still like in the about section somewhere at the bottom, you can still say also experienced legal interpreter or something, just as a note that it's still there, but it's not the focus. But you don't, but this doesn't mean you just said, I don't know, what you're afraid of, like, oh, it's my main thing. It doesn't say that, right? So you just say, I'm a
Yeah.
conference interpreter, I have experience in this field.
Uh, yes, that's true. But for instance, that does not prevent people from putting a label on me. I remember once I had a meeting with a group of colleagues, and there was one colleague who knew me, and she presented me to the other colleagues as a legal interpreter. And I told her, yes, but I'm not just that. On the contrary, I'm mostly a conference interpreter, and I happen to do legal. And she insisted, yeah,
Mhm.
but you do mainly legal, don't you? Yes, at the moment I do mostly legal, but I'm aiming at doing more conference interpreting because that's what I am. And really, she kind of insisted, and that kind of raised awareness because I think that if they see me working for court, working for justice, they assume
Okay,
that I
yeah. But here,
justice.
look, let me stop you here, please. Sorry. Just, this is totally normal, and I totally mean it all well. Yeah, please. Just to understand this. It's just this is our brain wanting to protect ourselves, or your brain, your ego wanting to protect you because of this one occurrence. But look, this was one occurrence that happened, and all of these good things, you didn't, how to say, there was no occurrence to remember, but it doesn't mean it's not there. It's like the silent majority or whatever, it's like it's still there. And this one occurrence doesn't represent how it is. And it
I
was even a
agree.
colleague, not a client. And here you really need to tell your brain, okay, that's not it. And again, here what helps you, it's why, again, here it helps you again.
Yeah.
Okay, but my profile is aimed at my ideal client. So always have your ideal client in mind and communicate to them. Create a
But even
virtual
yeah.
client avatar
hmm But
and
if
and
even a
mhm.
colleague does not understand that, how can I explain that to a client? Because a colleague is supposed to understand
Think
that.
about your ideal client, talk to them, and your ideal client doesn't, do they know that you are a legal interpreter? Your ideal client is an automotive, just making it up now, yeah? Your ideal client is an automotive company, I don't know, VW or whatever, and the manager who hires interpreter is looking for a French English interpreter or French Italian and researching and finding a profile. If this is your ideal client, would they be interested in whether you do legal or not?
I don't know whether that would be interested, but yes, if it's a client, maybe they don't know me, and so I have to build my profile so that they don't have this perception that legal is the most part of my work.
Yeah, exactly. This is why it's so important to
Yeah.
remember this. Speak to your fictively ideal client. Think about, okay, whom do I want to work for, and what would they be interested in? Like really, imagine a real person, maybe the person at this
Yeah.
company hiring the interpreter. What would they care about? In automotive industry doesn't care whether you are legal or not, Um, I'm sorry, but why would they, And always think about they are in their own world and they are busy with their own life and work. They surely don't have any time to waste to think about whether this interpreter they need for one conference, has legal and maybe this is not their main field or whatever, if it says on the profile conference
Well,
interpreter.
that's the risk. That's the risk. If I don't build carefully my profile, for the moment they may think that I'm mostly legal. And so they say, well, she's a bit too specialized in legal interpreting, and maybe she doesn't have that booth experience, which actually I have because
Yeah,
I've,
see,
I've
that's
worked
why
quite a few times in the
that's
booth.
good. Exactly. It could even hinder your ideal client because at the moment you're not talking to this ideal client in a conference setting.
Mhm.
So it's even more important to forget all about this. What do they think? How does it appear like this? Because look, time passes every day, whether you create your profile this way or that way, time passes. There are companies out there looking for interpreters, no matter whether you have this profile or that profile. So, the best thing is to take action and not just do nothing, So, and before you ponder, like always do it to your favor in your likings, like again, like to the client that you want to work with, because it happens whether you want it or not, and they find you or not, one way or another, because the time passes brutally, one can say, So if you want to
Yeah.
work with conference interpreting clients, yeah, then try, and also it's experimenting. Try it out, you know, and do more client acquisition in this direction.
Yes, I should. You're right.
Or, or what is also anybody else? Any thoughts or yeah, or anything to share about this? Having similar kind of doubts like Lavinia.
Hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Patricia.
Hi.
I can hear you.
Yeah, okay. No, I was just listening to Lavinia, and I think we all have this.
They think what, and then what do these people think? There's thousands of people. Do you think of the colleague or the client? That's why it's really so important to focus, laser focus. And this is why really everyone think of your ideal client and don't care about anyone else that might think, and create your profile according to speaking to your ideal client. Patricia.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, please. Yes, hello.
Hi. Yeah, I was saying that I was listening to Lavinia, and I was thinking that we all have this, I think this imposter syndrome, that we're kind of afraid to kind of lie, in our LinkedIn profile. But as you were saying, this is our LinkedIn profile is like a CV or like a web page where we're selling ourselves. So we want to say the best, the best about us. And it doesn't matter if, it doesn't matter if you're not a full-on interpreter, like if you're not, a full-time interpreter, you just say you are. And it doesn't matter if you only do legal. Well, it doesn't matter. You just say you're a comfort interpreter and you do legal as well. You don't have to say exactly what you said. You don't have to lie and say things that you have not done, but you can say, just kind of, as you were saying, what you want to do, and just express it in your LinkedIn. And that's the way that you're going to be attracting people, because I understand, like sometimes I write things and I'm like, well, this is not really, but it doesn't matter, you're not, it's not like you're saying I speak German and you don't, it's just kind of embellishing, what you're doing. So don't be afraid. I mean, it's your profile. Don't be afraid to write what you want to do, what you want to achieve.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you. Yes, that's exactly it. Yeah, exactly. This is the imposter syndrome. Thank you for identifying it. And um, and maybe this is also like a female thing, because there is this cliche, right? That men go into a job interview. Oh, isn't there like the story, like a man and a woman go to the job interview, the man doesn't have any competency, but he's just like super confident and says, yeah, and I can do this for sure, and so on. And the woman goes in and lists everything like that, what could be a hindrance, and oh yeah, I'm not sure, and maybe we should do it like this. And then, although she has a super great competency, yeah, but then the man gets it. And it's because of the way they present themselves, right? And maybe it's something about how we women still grow up in this world or whatever, that we are still used to growing up as like the good girl, saying yes, and being always like modest and so on. And men are like, I exaggerate now, and certainly not all men, but this is like the cliche. I'm sure you have heard of these stories. And so let's also go out there confidently, and like also this is what I mean by have fun with it. This is your profile, so speak like you want, like and have fun with it, enjoy it. Hey, I'm a conference interpreter. Imagine already the Lavinia, maybe also your future self, your future ideal interpreter self. Lavinia, the conference interpreter, and write it like this, and then, feel yourself already in this role. How would you feel then, if without these doubts and so on?
Yeah, because I'm not sure whether I actually have the imposter syndrome, because I know I have what it takes to be to work in the booth more regularly. I know I have what it takes, but
Imposter syndrome, maybe in the sense of speaking about it, because you have more experience in legal, and somehow you focus on this as if it was so important, but this is like, and then you feel kind of like as an imposter to say, I'm a conference interpreter, because you have in mind, oh, but actually I do more legal. Can I say this? This is the imposter that we mean here, I think, Patricia, as well. But you
yeah,
say
because I
yourself,
see,
yeah, you can do it.
yeah,
Mhm.
because I see colleagues whom I've met also in court. And I see they constantly post on LinkedIn. I've worked here, I worked there, always posting pictures of themselves in the booth, and they they call each other. And I'm a bit outside of this kind of circle. I can see that they work with each other because they publish things, and I am outside. and I don't know how to get into that circle because, yes, as you said, one thing does not go against the other, but I, I have the impression that I've been a bit branded.
Yeah, here it's again about people work with people, and it's about relationship building, I think. And it's also like a marathon. If they already are this clique or group of interpreter friends, let's say, then yes, they go to each other first. And here it's actually about the one from what I hear, creating a relationship with the colleagues, colleagues slash the colleagues are the potential client in this case, ne? And go for a coffee with them, and then also steer the conversation a bit around not justifying, like not openly say, like I'm not a legal interpreter only. So like not make it sound as a justification, but like just try to steer the conversation a bit in the direction of your experience in conference interpreting, to maybe get this branding, or to change this a bit. And also always remember, you don't know this. This is an assumption. So everything that is an assumption, think twice whether it's worth your time, because we cannot know what another person thinks, even though we think it might be obvious or whatever. No, we don't know. So then make your life easy, because why make it difficult if you don't know anyhow? Then stop pondering about it, stop creating negative feelings around it, and rather waste your time onto something, not waste, focus your time and attention onto something, that is more in your control. Like, really, okay, I keep repeating it. So if you take one thing away today is, then think about your ideal client and just focus on them. And when those pondering thoughts come, like from here, colleagues, other clients, what might they think, and they had happened already, and here this happened, stop it, because then in this 10 minutes, you still haven't done anything about your profile or reached out, right? Patricia, yeah?
Yes, I wanted to say
Go there
that,
and you reach out. Yeah.
yeah, I want to say that what people post in LinkedIn, it doesn't have to be the truth, like there's lots of people who post, I work here, I work there, and it seems like they're working all the time, and it's not true. Like maybe they're just talking about events in the past, and sometimes people like embellish the truth, and you think like, wow, they're working a lot, and maybe they're not, maybe they're just posting a lot. That's one thing. And I think we have to stop comparing to this. I'm saying this because I feel exactly the same way. And it's comparing, you look, sometimes I go into LinkedIn and it's like, I get anxiety, because I see like, wow, everyone is working and everyone's so happy and everything goes so well. And at this moment, I don't have a job, and, I don't have any job for this week, and then you start saying like, what's wrong with me? And it's like, no, just post whatever you want, and people, some people do work a lot, some people don't, and they just post, and it's okay. And then about, what you say about being like a closed circle, it takes a long time. Like I came to France in like 6 years ago, but because of the COVID, I started working at like 2022, and it's been like 4 years, and I still feel that I'm not in the market, after 4 years, it takes a long time for people to know you, for agencies to know you, for other colleagues to rely on you, to know, so it does take a long time. So as Sarah was saying, just kind of reach out to colleagues that they know you're there, that talk to them, and whenever you don't have a job, you don't have, like when you see you don't have work, what I do sometimes, just I reach out to colleagues and I say, hey, I don't have much work at the moment. If you hear about anything, let me know. And people don't know if you're working or not, unless you tell them. And same thing with agencies. If you work with agencies, just every now and again, just write to them and say, hey, here are my availabilities. And, just so people, because it's kind of, I think the point in LinkedIn, it's for people to have you in mind. So when you post every week, people know you're there, and they think, ah, yeah, I remember there is an interpreter, so it's kind of posting every week, like at least once a week, so that people know that you exist, that you're there, that you're an expert, and so they think about you.
Yes,
Oh,
you're
so it
right.
does
We
change
need
the
to be
view.
there.
So okay. Mhm.
And I have two things to say about that. So first of all, I'm not actually lacking work because I have regular calls from notaries, from the justice. So I am actually working. It's just that I would like to shift a little the field I'm working in because I would like to actually work in the booth because that's what I love to do simultaneous. And also, second thing, you need to, yes, you say we need to be present on LinkedIn. And when I have an assignment, I would love to publish, but every time I do not know what to post because I see people they post kind of stupid posts. They say, "Oh, it was nice to work together," and that's it. Or well, "Oh, what a nice assignment I had." No, you need to post something meaningful, something. And every time I spend days and days after the assignment thinking about what smart thing can I say about this assignment before posting, and then I end up posting nothing. So I have lots of assignments in the booth, so that could bring me clients who potential simultaneous interpreting clients, or maybe colleagues that see that I'm working regularly in the booth, but I don't post anything because I don't find anything intelligent to say meaningful. Oh, the only thing I could say is, yes, I had a nice assignment, and that's it.
Yeah, again, what helps you here is have your ideal client in mind. Again, like
Mhm.
this is super helpful. What would your ideal client be interested in to hear? And this is why it's super important to do this ever, like I say, client avatar work, let's say, like really everyone here after today, uh, go on Canva. You all know Canva, yeah? And go to like a CV or whatever on Canva, this design website. Yeah, if anybody doesn't know Canva, let me know. Otherwise, I assume you know. And like put in this person that works at your ideal company, and think about what they would be interested in. Put yourself in their shoes, and then only think about this. And of course, you cannot share anything confidential either from such a conference. We all know this, but there's always something in general or without revealing anything, So do this, share this. For example, I shared once um, that the colleague and I managed to convince the client to use table microphones instead of of only two handheld microphones, and what the benefits are of, So it's really like pick one thing, and uh, and and to come up with an idea. Think about your ideal client, because this is something useful for other clients too, because for us interpreters, table microphones are better for this reason, so on. Nobody likes to go around and to hand out the hand microphone and then the interpreter doesn't hear, those kind of things. So it wasn't even anything about the actual topic of the conference, right? So there is always
Yes,
something to post. And this is also your perfectionism, Lavinia, if I may call it out. You don't need to be
maybe.
perfect. Yes, okay, there are posts out there from other colleagues that you think, okay, I don't want to post like this, but at least they they posted something and you remember them. I don't want to say, any, what is it called? Any PR is good PR or whatever, But at
Yes,
least you need to start somehow, and it's practice, because then maybe, yes, maybe your first post is a bit like, yeah, it was nice, okay. The next post, maybe you already have a little bit of a better idea, and then the next post a bit more of a better idea. So it's also a development, and it is about practice. You have to do it for it to become better as well. You cannot start learning the piano and be already good at it, or I think playing the violin
yeah.
sounds terrible at the beginning, before you can get the one right tone out of it. And this might, you might have to accept that maybe subjectively, I'm not saying it will be, but just what if the worst case was true? What if your post sucked? What would happen?
I don't know. I think that most of the times I tell myself that I cannot just say I've done a wonderful assignment and that's it. I need to find something that
You can
may.
also get a quote from your client there without like having this official testimonial, but you can repeat what they said, you know. The client was satisfied, blah, blah, quote, Um, because it's not a lie again. Don't be afraid. Like, it's not a lie. If somebody said it, you
But
can
even
just
that
even
would,
put it in
yeah.
quotation marks and make a post of this, and then maybe just, there's so much you
But
can
even
post
that would
about.
be self-glorification, self-glorification that has no point, because people who read that say, okay, the client was satisfied with her. Yeah, oh, so what? She's just throwing herself flowers, like we say in France.
What is it? You always find something,
I
a
need to
counter
find something
argument.
new.
You always find
Yeah,
something to
you're
be in your
right.
own way, no? Kind of. You're looking for ideas to post, and then you find. I mean, there's always a counter argument with anything and everything.
Yes,
Um,
you
and
are
it's
right also.
and this is what I also mean by practice. Just try it once and maybe see, because your brain also needs stimulation, and then another idea comes up. And what you think might be dull, somebody else might not think it's dull. Again, it's an assumption.
Mm.
We don't know. We cannot assume what other people will think. And, and testimonials are super important, for clients. They look for references and so on. It's just, of course, again, you should not probably post every day, or every post should not be a testimonial. You need to diversify your content as well a bit. But this is already like getting into a great strategy here. So, but once in a while, a testimonial is totally fine. And then, of
For
course, you can.
instance, For instance, I can say today, for instance, the lawyer, I met her outside the court, and she said that her client was really happy with my translation, and that made my day actually. But I cannot self-glorify myself and go out there on LinkedIn and just say the attorney complimented me. That would be so foolish. And so I don't know, self-glorifying.
You can turn it around and at the same time praise how great the conference was organized, or the presenters, or whatever. How
It
great
wasn't a
they
conference, it was a hearing with a judge, by the
how
way.
great they made it, how they made it easier. So it's always find something and just post it. Even if you don't like it. I think you're probably candidate. You have to do it even if you don't like it, because I think you will always find something to not like. I don't know what there is, but you have a certain barrier that you always find something against it. I don't know. But just do it.
Yes,
Like,
in
you're
a
always thinking
way.
about what the other person might think, but stop it. Think about your ideal client and speak to them as if it was a conversation. And that's it. Really create your client avatar after today, and always speak to this person. And this is also something about social media marketing. Speak as if it was really one person you're talking to in a casual conversation. Don't think about everyone and this over there and this colleague and especially if it's like something you didn't like, or you don't want it to be like this, then don't focus on it. Where you focus on, this is where your energy will go, and this is what you will make bigger because you focus on it so much. So it will just grow bigger. And what you want, you didn't focus on, and you didn't do anything about it. How can this grow? And again, in all of this time, again, you still sit there, your LinkedIn profile is open, and nothing has happened, right? So, and the main thing is really going out there and just despite all of these counter arguments. And I'm also looking at the time. Ooh, thank you so much, Lavinia. This time I just planned 60 minutes for it. So I want to be very mindful. And actually, before we just wrap up, let me ask you, 1 second. Yeah, one second, let me just share my screen again. I cannot do both things at the same time, apparently.
I don't know, yeah, but it's time to just say a small comment.
Sorry, Patricia, yeah? What do you want to say?
Yeah, I just wanted to just make a comment that we sometimes think that what we write about our jobs is going to be dull or repetitive, but it's because we are in the job and we know how it works. But people who are out there, they don't know what our job. So when you
Very good,
talk
yeah.
about your job, what you do, like for example, you're talking about legal translation. I have no idea how that works. So if you do a post saying what you do exactly, and it would be very interesting just because we don't know what you do and how you do it. And, and in self-gratification, you have to do it. Otherwise, no one else is going to do it.
Very good point. Thank you, Patricia. Yes, we are routine blinded. And all of the thoughts that are going on in your head don't go on in the other person's head. Like, so I can only repeat myself. Stop thinking what the other person might think. stop it, just do it your way. It's your profile, have fun with it, speak to your ideal client and, do it the way that it gives you a good feeling, period. Because that's what we want at the end of the day, good feelings, right? So, yeah. Before we come to wrap up here, let me just ask you, and then maybe we have some time afterwards, Lavinia, to continue. But yeah, so before we wrap up, so this is kind of like we reviewed Lavinia's profile. Thank you for stepping out, Lavinia. And this is what I do also in my coaching program. And would it be okay if I just showed you how I can help you like more and than in such 1 hour workshop like this? Yeah, if it's okay. Yeah, thank you. So, for example, I offer a program that's 4 months long. And here I say, here, imagine working with fantastic clients. You can also learn a lot about marketing language, word it positively. Here I say, for example, imagine working with fantastic clients, having a steady income and enjoying the freedom to work from anywhere without constant hustle. So here, for example, I focus on location freedom because I love location freedom, and also think about your ideal, again, way of working. So for Lavinia, it would be getting away from legal, but more towards conference, So imagine you would work also in the field that you want to work in more, So, and if you're ready to take the next step, I warmly invite you to jump on a free clarity call with me to discover whether my 4 months one-to-one support program, and I like to call it the fully booked interpreter, can help you to create the business that fits to you, so that you really have the freelance lifestyle that we love. And this entails so much mindset, like we saw, how much is going on in our heads. And this is also what we tackle here, how to overcome this. Because at the end of the day, we want to fall asleep feeling serene. Yeah, this is actually peace of mind, right? And how can we do this in our freelance lifestyle? So that it works. I will also share the link in the chat if that's okay. You can see it here. And just feel free to book a free call. I said 45 minutes free. And we just discover it. I want to ask you a few questions where you are at. What strategy might work for you, whether it's actually possible, whether I feel I can help you or not. This is what the clarity call is for. And then we discover, whether the 4 months program helps you. And if not at all, you go away with like more clarity. That's the goal of this. That's why I called it now clarity call, to see like where your barriers are, your blocks, And I hope already, Lavinia, you took something away from today already, like similar, like
Yes.
to identify what are your blocks, what might help you to move forward, But it's like often we are our biggest barrier, and we just need like some guidance and this accountability to actually implement the steps. So this is why I created this program. Yeah, feel free to jump on a call. And here are just some testimonials. Again, you see, testimonials are important because this is what, imagine if you go on Amazon. Do you look at the review before you order a product? And do you then book rather the product with 5 stars instead of 4 stars, So like testimonials are super important. So, and here are some that you can have a look at if you want. Let me just see whether I have any other slides. I can also leave them open because then we can come back to more questions and answers. Yeah, exactly. So just the testimonials, and then my presentation is over. So I leave it open. So, but we can still continue with some question and answers. Lavinia, I think you wanted to say something.
Yes, I know another hot topic about LinkedIn is that many, many times I am tempted to do a polemic topic, meaning I see how things work in court, how interpreters are treated in court, how we wish it could improve, or for instance, the bailiffs that don't know that we need to be 2 of us for the whole day. All of those things. When I go back home, I have this very strong temptation to post that on LinkedIn, and I know I would have hundreds of reactions from colleagues. Yes, you are right. Let's do it. But I don't do it because on LinkedIn you need to present a super clean and positive image. You never have to be, you must never be polemic or anything. So I don't know what you think about this.
Who says that we have never been, no, should not be polemic? I don't teach this because we want again, like think about your ideal client or what's on your heart. Yeah, and if this comes naturally, then do post about it. Because actually, if you go on Instagram, all those influencers do polemic stuff because this is what gives them comments, reviews, and shares, reshares. So totally, because you want actually, in the advanced marketing where you actually count your followers and so on, there you actually think about what can you write provocatively so that you get more of those comments. But this goes already like into like a deep strategy. I thought also, so I challenge you, think about it yourself, like who says we don't have to be polemic? It's like, share what's on your heart. And it's your profile, have fun with it, and also post what's fun with it. And in the worst case, you can always delete it, and then, okay, some people have seen it, but it's still not the whole world, So really, like,
Yeah,
think about it as experimenting. Yeah. But also,
okay.
I thought,
Let me give you an
maybe,
example.
yeah,
Sorry.
I thought you wanted to
Sorry.
share something,
Yes.
ask something what Patricia said earlier, respond to this or something, I thought maybe.
Oh, I can give you an example. Once I wrote a sort of a polemic post about a bailiff who did not know that we needed to be two of us, and I had another interpreter. I don't know, a new interpreter. I did not know. We had like a first call, and she said, "Okay, let me have a look at your LinkedIn profile." And she said, "Oh, you posted that, but don't you think that maybe judges are going to look at it? Bailiffs are going to look at it, and you are criticizing their system? Be careful, because if they see it, they might decide not to no longer call you, for instance, because you have criticized. Like it's like you're spitting in the plate where you eat. Where we said, as we say in Italy,
Yeah. Well, here we really need to, or
biting the
you
hand
really need
that
to think
feeds you.
about whom do you
Mhm.
listen to? Who is the advice giver? And if you ask 5 people, you get 7 opinions, So
Mm.
of course, there's always a risk, but life is a risk. So um, don't give too much to these things. Like post what it's on your heart, and period. And also it can at the same time have a different effect, because many bailiffs and many in the legal system might not be satisfied with their own system and might want to improve things. And then there might be this one client. Again, think about your ideal client. You want the ideal client that sees this and says, "Oh yes, she's totally right. I want to work with her. I don't want to just work with the yes sayers. I want somebody with character." And this is why it's again so important to think about who's your ideal client and just speak to them. And again, forget about people that criticize you. It will always happen. But even if you post or not, so you might as well be yourself and do what you want anyways. Because then it's also when you attract the clients that you want to work with.
Yes, but also I cannot bite the hand that feeds me. That's also another problem.
I can only repeat myself now, I think.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, because
You
it's
might say, well,
because
no
there might
matter what
be
they say.
in the same hand that feeds you, there might be one that has your opinion, that shares your opinion, right? And you want to, and then it's fine, and you want to stand out. Actually, this is like, but yeah, of course, you need to. The main thing is to post, and did you post this or not?
In the end, I had posted it, and as soon as this person told me that, I got scared and I erased it because and also I'm surrounded by incompetent colleagues, some of which are at the head of the judicial interpreters organization, and I don't know how they are not conference interpreters, so they kind of um, looked down on me for being a conference interpreter and said, "Oh yes, you are conference interpreter. Stop saying that you're a conference interpreter. We are in court. It's not the same." And also, "Oh, if you are tired, yes, you can ask for a colleague, but I don't know why you would ask for one, because I've just done 2 weeks of a trial all day, all on my own, and I'm
Look,
not
yeah,
dead
but
yet."
those are all individual voices. One person said this, and how many persons might have liked your post, but you didn't hear them because good feedback often is not said, or you don't hear it. We need also 7 good feedbacks that override one negative. You know, we always remember the negative things. And,
Yeah.
you know, think about what person do you want to be, what interpreter? And I like to think I'm the kind of interpreter who says what she thinks, who stands by her values, and who says things when they're not right and doesn't care if some feedback like this comes. Okay, this is a colleague. Okay, thank you for your opinion. Thanks, period. You know? And I want to attract, you know, also the people then in the legal system that share this and that are also upset with this. And then those should contact me. Exactly. I don't want to work with the clients that undervalue me and all those things. Then you might attract those clients, you know. But with such a provocative post, you might finally attract the client that understands you and the one person that does want to change something and improve the working conditions as well. But if you never try, it will never happen. So forget about people that criticize you and just think about whom do you want to be and act like it. Who's your ideal client and speak to them. All right, and I
Okay.
think with that,
I need to ponder on that.
yeah, so good food for thought then.
Yes, food for thought.
Cool, okay, yeah, and we're already over time. Thanks everyone who stayed longer.
Sorry.
And as said, I invite everyone to book a clarity call for this week. We won't have a meeting on Wednesday because we have client getting week. We had the meeting now, and I want you to have enough time for completing the task of client getting week. So check your email and the Terps Practice Network, please, every day for your short task to do client acquisition this week, yeah? And then we see each other again in a live call next week. All right. Bye-bye. Have a great week. Enjoy. And if you have any
Bye.
questions, of course, about client week and so on, just message me or reply to the email you get. Bye-bye.